Hello, this is Jim from Fat Cat Market Garden in December 4th, about 1:30, around 50 degrees. And it's they say it's 7 here, zone 7. And this is where we left off last time. I was showing these strawberry beds where I was putting the different shredded leaves in the beds. And the shredded leaves came from a landscaper, and he sucked them up going over someone's lawn. His machine shredded them up and he dropped them on his trailer. This is a pile here. The landscaper just picked them up, didn't go through any shredding. Now, what I didn't share with you is our place. We moved here October. This would be our third winter. So we moved here in October of 2015, and this place is 1867. That's when they built the barn over here, this part, and this house here, 1867. So I had to put new siding on the back here. I had to put new skin on the back, so to speak. See, it's just, that is somebody's old metal roofing. And then there's some sheds, like that shed there, the side of that. And that's a new addition to the barn, that brown there. This brown on my potting shed here. This is, that's my potting shed here. I bought 3 5-gallon cans of paint, 5-gallon buckets of paint from a paint store. I go every once in a while, and then I stop in, ask them if they have any mixed paint. I don't try to say mixed match. Unwanted tone paint somebody wanted, and then they don't have the way for it, and they didn't want it. So they might have sitting there, so whether it's 1 gallon or 5 gallons, you get it for nothing, or like me, I got 15 gallons for $20. So I left here last time, and we had, October 15th, we bought 4 acres, and it was on an auction. So we were looking for 2-3 years for a place, and this one finally came up, and the fellow that was selling, he was selling, that's the main street in our little town, and he was selling mums from here. And so, you know, everybody's got their problems, and they had to sell, and they had to let it go in fallow for a few years. But now, I mentioned about liming. People want to use wood chips and leaves. So in the last video I mentioned liming and chicken manure, pelletized chicken manure. So this is, they call it processed. So let me get you a close-up of this stuff here. Okay, so these are 323. And you see down here is it says OMRI certified. And that's what pelletized chicken manure looks like. It's processed, pasteurized, you know. It comes in a 50-pound bag I buy it in. Now, the other thing I was saying about, you need to lime. Okay, so now liming, well, it's like flour. It's got the consistency of, you know, baking flour. So that's this lime does, which is dolomitic lime. See, this bag says pulverized, and over here it says dolomitic lime. Okay, so it might not always say dolomitic lime, but it will more than likely say pulverized lime. Right here it says pulverized. Up there it says pulverized. Now that's the and it usually comes in these 40-pound bags. 40 pounds, you see 40 pounds? There you go. Now, that's the fastest acting lime that I can buy. Now over here, this is pelletized lime. Pelletized lime. And they'll say the same thing about it, you know. It neutralizes the soil, it's great for everything. And here it is also here, this bag's the same thing. Pellet it, corrects soil pH, improves nutrient availability, adds calcium, activates microorganisms. Sure, okay, I guess. And this stuff here is got a little pelletized, I suppose, but not the way the chick manure's pelletized. It's finer, and this will take longer to break down. So if you add the pelleted limestone, as they call it, you add it in the fall, you know, it'll break down by the springtime when everything's coming out of dormancy. The pulverized limestone, that will act depending on how fast it breaks down, how much rain you have, or if you water it. That's going to activate into your soil and start lowering your pH if that's what you're concerned about. So chlorosis is that saying from people using wood chips or leaves. The leaves become yellow, and now that's a common rule of thumb. You know, if you see your leaves starting to turn yellow, it's either chlorosis or you've had too much nitrogen. In that case, along with the yellowing of the leaves, your leaf tips are curling and turning brown, darker brown. So that's too much nitrogen. So you have to guess. So you have to have experience. You have to, you know, what causes what. You know, what did I do here now? I didn't give you this tip before, but if I'm back in the 80s, I probably had 1,500 square feet of hydroponics. I was doing some guerrilla gardening. And the tip I would use for the hydroponics, if I needed to change my pH real fast, so I would use a tablespoon of baking soda in water or vinegar in water, depending if I want to raise or lower my pH in my hydroponic system. Now you can do the same thing in your ground. You make up whatever it is you need, if it's baking soda or the vinegar to adjust it, and you would pour it in there. And the other thing you could do is really mist the leaves of whatever plant you're concerned about, especially for high nutrients, and you can sort of leach it out by changing the, you know, by spraying it with water, misting it out. So you're just trying to get the high nitrogen out of the tissues as fast as possible. And that's a real pain in the butt. It might be easier to replant if you have them. You know, it's a judgment call. You have to have some experience with it. So this, what I'll try to do is set this camera up next time. And well, there, let me show you here. You don't need to see my spread line. There's a little hand spreader right here, this green thing from, yeah, I've had probably 20 years. But you just fill this hopper up here, right? And it spins it down here. This hand crank spins it. And there's a slide right here with numbers. And it's supposedly it'll move that door open and closed. Inside, you pull it back and make that get smaller, larger aperture. You see there? Huh. I have to work on my camera techniques. I'm into the sun now. So yeah, so this is about 3 acres down there. Now that truck, somebody gave me that truck. It has over 400,000 miles on it. It's not roadworthy. And I just fed these bottom half of the bees hives here. So temperature's going to be dropping Wednesday into the 40s, and into the 20s in the evening, so I had to button them all up. And on this chicken pen right there, that chicken pen's temporary. There's nothing, there's 4 trees on the corner of the pen, and the rafters are tied to the trees or setting in a crutch of a tree, and it's made out, there's a frame of pallets that are tied to the trees and each other. Now, I have some screws in it, but there's no screws in the trees. I'll show you the inside next time, maybe, or something else. So that's what I want to share about this liming and the pelletized chicken manure from my area. It's all about what's available to you in your area. In mid-Delaware, it's different from southern PA, where I used to farm and garden before. These strawberry beds out here, they're for us to eat, preserve in the freezer, and then the idea is for me to have extra to sell. Whether I sell them out front, like I've done with the mums in the past, or other items, the cannas. I might put the tent back up top, canopy, and sell some things. I know I'm going to sell some mums again this year. So between selling the runners on the raspberries, I think I'll go through all that, and it's about getting the plants in, propagating them, and then spreading them out and putting it in so I don't have to do working on it all the time. There's a balance between how much time you have, how much physical ability you have, and what's the ratio. I mean, do you have a lot of time you could put into a place and go out and scrounge material? Well, that's great. You might have to have a job. You might want insurance, or, you know, so you have to balance things in your life. But left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, you just keep doing it. And I'll keep making videos, and I'm gonna get a lapel mic, make the quality a little better. So thanks a lot from the Mid-Atlantic region, and you all take care and good luck.